theme I'm thinking today is very much that we live in a very changing, almost happening every day. And the fastest and the most unpredictable pace of the transformation, in fact, is the digital things. And in the world of transform, this is very much transforming in the transformation. That's the whole idea that I'm trying to talk this morning. First about digital Vietnam. So where are the digital Vietnam at this point of time? Yeah. You guys very much like and love the number. And this is the first part of my talk today, is just talking about the number. The first part is up to today, September 2016. Total population of Vietnam is almost 94, and active internet user is almost like 49.5, and active social media user is 40 million. And all the number sounds very interesting. And you look at this like urbanization of the total population of Vietnamese is almost like 34%. And the interesting part is that we see mobile connectivity is around like 152%, which we have, you know, it's very much like.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Because I prefer not to talk over the mic. So all this kind of number shows something very, very interesting. Let's look at other numbers as well. Maybe you know, or maybe you not know. Vietnam YouTube in watch time ranked number 5 in the world and ranked number 1 in Asia Pacific. And you look at all this number, what is very, very interesting. And the Vietnamese, meaning that not only watching, but also they spend a lot of time in we so-called like online videos. And this is where we're coming from, how we can leverage on that insight of the perspective of online and things like this in Vietnam. And the number is also, we're talking about very much like the valuable audience online. It's not just the irrelevant audience, but this is very much valuable. You look at 57% online household, which contribute to 67% total spending of FMCG in this country. And part of this, we'll talk about e-commerce. Grows very, very strongly, very significantly in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. You see the chart from 2012 up to 2016 in Hanoi going from 6% up to 31%, and in Ho Chi Minh City up to 25%. And especially we see the number of 22% is using mobile to do the purchase. And part of the investment that we're talking about, and very, very interesting, is lifestyle banking via Tmall app. You can see it here. Okay. What is the reason behind of this incredible growth? We just have a look at all these numbers compared from Vietnam to India to, you know, Philippines, Thailand. We see the cost of entry level of a data plan is only $3.3 US. And effective bandwidth on the other side is faster than any countries in the region, and coverage also greater. So overall, the reason behind this is we have cheap data, fast speed, and great coverage. That's make Vietnam to an A++ in terms of development in digital in Asia Pacific, not to mention in the world. What I'm trying to share with you is not the number anymore, but what does it mean above and beyond all these numbers? It must have a reason. And I think that this three part of this, that as an investor, I think you may look into this, and this is very much my own observation. This number one is we live in the fourth industry in regulation, and speed is very important. And I think that
a number of very successful companies in the digital world based on 4 factors to exceptionalism. That's what I'm thinking. And very much it's supported by a digital ecosystem whereby a distributed, adaptive, open social technology system, and which very much help inspire the organization to grow from a natural ecosystem. I think this is the base of everything to make the numbers has a reason. Okay. We are thinking in the media world and entertainment, we're talking think out of the box. But I think the concept of thinking out of the box is now old-fashioned, because the idea is no box anymore. But that's the key thing. If we're still thinking there's a box for us to think out of it, it's no more. So there's 4, we so-called like 4 factors, according to me, to think this is maybe a successful organization or not. It's number 1, this company should be thinking in a way of beyond legislation. Meaning that you look at a number of companies that they have the capability of predict, navigate, and overcome the norm what is created by the government or any legal regulations. And this sort of company always thinks beyond. They can have a product, a service that provide to the people or the country of that area, and the government doesn't know how to cope with this. For example, Uber is one of an example. When it's first launched, especially like in a country like Vietnam, the government doesn't know how to manage to run the tax on this kind of business or service. As number 2, to be a great company, it should be based on community share. And the idea is that you gather on community, you collect and offer back to the community, but you don't need to spend money, you don't own anything, but you still have the community belongs to you. So that's the art of running an organization like this. And traditionally, all of the so-called digital companies or whatsoever, the revenue is very much based on subscription and advertising revenue. And if any company, they do have any different revenue sources, the main revenue, beyond subscription and advertising, this is going to be very, very interesting. It's a great company. So I think that this is somewhat that my own observations see things like this. So we see that, okay, most of the companies that answer these 4 key factors is, we can show a number of examples, Airbnb or Uber or so on and so forth. And next is a phenomenon that we already witnessed for the past few months is Pokemon. Look at all these numbers. Launched 19 days, and they have 75 million downloads, cover 30 countries, and the market cap of the company who owns this up to 29.6 billion. And to date, it reached this 500 million downloads, cover 100 countries, and the market cap going up more than 8 billion. What's the reason behind this? Why not only the youngster, but also the old generation love? 3 reasons. They feel that it's very self-confident, exploring sense, and connecting. This is all the 3 factors and 3 elements that make people just crazy because of this. And Pokemon also answer most of the 4 elements or 4 factors I just mentioned. I also share a little bit, maybe most of you know about this, but this very much multinational, multi-channel network is what? This is very popular today, we so-called like MCN. It's a company that manages a collection of YouTube channels, providing marketing, financing, and production resources for their members. And something like everybody is a television channel, to make it simple.
in the past, we had to go through an official channel to be a television channel. Today, each and every individual can be a television channel because of we so-called the collection of multi-channel network. And it helps a lot of content creators and providing consumer intelligence for the brands. This is a local company. You look at all this number. This company used to be in the traditional communication and television business. And then after 2 years of setup MCN, you look at all this number. We will see that every month they have totally about 2.5 billion monthly views in Vietnam. It's an incredible number. And the contents they get from almost 1,000 partners, meaning the contents they owns by each and everybody. They just put in the platform, and this is how it works. And Vietnam is also one of the, as I mentioned, it's a very popular and get things done through digital influence very much. What is the behind the success? I think all about today's world of the digital things is I adore individualism. I love myself. When I ask my son or my kids, who you love most? Myself. And the digital world allows you to show, to expose yourself very much. Number 2 is you love the sense of freedom. And number 3, truth. What is today's world? It's hard to find the truth. This is a very dangerous element in the world today. Do you agree? I'm talking about word of mouth. But today, MCN we support digital word of mouth. And the truth. Why we're talking about this? Because I think truth is the most single important and the most valuable asset in today's world. People lying to each other every day. And including lying to themselves as well. And we see the relationship between truth and brand architects. Now, I'll just continue about digital word of mouth. You think about the first time and when you have a very good experience as a customer. You want to share with anybody or not? The answer is yes, and too many people. So word of mouth in the past is very much limited in reach and connection, and because you just pass it on to people just physically around you only. And in today's world, particularly by mobile, you can share your experience and information to millions and millions of others. And the question is again, why is digital word of mouth is the most effective and indispensable in our world today? I think there's 3 reasons. Number 1, people love gossip, especially men. The women never know how to gossip. That's what I learned from my wife. Number 2, people never ever believe anymore in any existing official media channels because they think all the journalists on so-called big fat liar. They lie because their career is lying to people. Number 3 is digital word of mouth opens a new essence of trust and credibility. Because all the times we talk not directly and from somebody else, then not from an official channel, as I mentioned, people think, oh, yeah, this is trustworthy. Anyway, yeah. So that's the reason that brings to the we so-called MCN so effective and so happening in today's world. Okay. Now, just a little bit more precise into my business. Part of my business is doing shows and reality shows. So we try to maximize or optimize the engagement that brings the best rating, meaning participation of watching the shows that we are doing. So this is something that, by research, 75% or more engage with social media comments about television shows. And because of that, there's a new term is created, we so-called social TV. Social TV is the combination of television and social media, where users watching TV were using a second mobile device to share their viewing experience with others. And with social TV, the impact of traditional TV goes beyond our living room and go into the world with smartphones, tablets, or we so-called second device. And they talk about the program before they watch, during they watch, and after they watch this. So the ability to share our reaction within seconds has cemented mobile into the experience of watching our favorite shows. People has not exercised or get involved into the digital world, we so-called late movers. And mobile has the strength to democratize on these people because they bring them to a new world of living. We can see all this kind of, so the chance is there as well. Look at this. This is a few pictures that I would like to share with you. In the 90s, when we go to the club, this is somewhat like this. People just yo, cheers and whatsoever, and enjoy yourself, and like Don bring you these days to a number of places. It's something, yeah, like this. Because he's an old-fashioned man. Today's world is different. Look at this. Because they go to a bar, to a club, what do? They don't enjoy themselves anymore, and they want to be a journalist, reporting to somewhere else who's not there. Today's enjoyment is about sharing your moment with other people via, so-called like mobile devices. So before in a dance club, you need a partner. Today, who is your partner? Your cell phone is your partner. So that's why people become more and more lonely because of that reason. In the 90s, the reunion, the get-together dinners or whatsoever of the families like this, people share the moment to each other, right? And bondings and sharing, that's a true essence of closeness. And today, the gathering of family is very interesting because there's an extra guest at our table. There's so many extra guests. And it distracts people, and the gathering is seeing something, watching another thing, and even they bury their face into all this kind of thing. And I think in our family, our kids at any meals, they don't look at us. They do something else. But at the same time, good and bad, but it's just happening. In my television world, this is somewhat in the past. But watching TV, family on watch together, I can see my sister cry, I can see, my mother laugh when watching a Korean drama series and things like this. Point is today, they don't watch. They do something else. Okay, so TV is just a means only because they so-called like share the emotion digitally and through a second screen. This has exactly changed the mindset and changed the way people connect each other. So we look at the journey from 1965 up to 2015, how a consumer's journey discover the contents and consume the contents, and through what. And this is, I think, a summary of this is very interesting for us. So all I just mentioned and share with you, just go to the next slide, is how can brands leverage this kind of reality and phenomenon in our world of digital. Number one, I think that brand is culture, and at the same time, culture is brand. We cannot split these two definitions into different worlds. And brand generates cultural relevance. For example, Vietnamese love Coke because they love brand, but since then, they love American through drinking Coke, for example. And nobody accepts this, but that's the truth. Digital technology also alters how culture works. And the third one is, this is a phenomenon we so-called like crowd culture. This is a new term. And what is crowd culture? I think the whole idea is that people getting on together through social media, and it can create a culture through the crowd. And there's two flavors, we so-called subculture and artwork, which break new ground in entertainment. And I think it's very much influenced the way people thinking of invest, spend money, and based on crowd culture. I would like to share with you a case study, again, from a group of company. I'll share with you later who are we. We have a company doing we so-called like shows and reality shows. And one of the shows we are doing is So You Think You Can Dance. The reason of the success of this is we changed from using social media as a marketing tool to the core of the success of the show. It's not supporting, but it's the reason for the success of any show. And you know, show is where you can make tons of money. Product placement, advertisings, and sponsorship, and so on and so forth. And even though now, look at this. For example, we gather people on the spot, like a room like this, before the shows start. And then, during that 1 or 1.5 hours, we arrange people to do selfies and take pictures and talk, giving gift, and immediately, and sing as well, on together. Sure, we had to select the good voice, dance at the same time. So what makes it happen? Meaning that they, as soon as they selfie this, 1 hour before the shows, all of their friends and 1 week, 10 weeks watch this show. But there's no connectivity of the people who watch at the real time for the real show as it happens like this. Because today people have so many things and they can't remember what's next. But if you get involved of their family, their friends, relatives, girlfriend, boyfriend, gay friend, whatsoever, then makes them, oh, I need to see my friends on TV, and they try to engage people. That's incredibly increase the rating of the program. So this is somewhat that we learn from this, and we start to change the way we operate any shows or reality shows of my company.